So the girl that's telling us the story said that when she was 7 years old, she went to go visit family in a place called La Rinconada, which is in Zamora, Michoacan, I believe. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that. She said that she had gone with her grandfather to go buy some groceries, and he was gonna go inside this lady's house because he was gonna buy some tamales, so he left her outside in a bench. As she's sitting in that bench, she was looking up at the sky because in that place, the stars were like very visible. And as she's looking at the stars, something just like covers them up. What she sees is a man with wings, and he's all black. She got scared and ran home because it was kind of close by, and immediately tells her grandmother and mom what she saw. They just started laughing. Of course, they didn't believe her, and they were just like, oh, what a wild imagination you have. She said that in her grandparents' home lived her aunts and uncles and her mom and her little brother and her. So there was like a total of 7 people in that house. Several days had passed from when she saw that thing in the sky, and that day they had already had dinner, and she actually fell asleep in the living room. She said that she was the type of kid who would like fall asleep anywhere, and eventually somebody would carry her to bed, and that's exactly what happened. They carried her up to her room. After a while, she woke up because she could hear her little brother and uncles playing around, and they seemed very close by, like maybe in the room next to her. You know, she woke up in this room that she didn't fall asleep in. She said she ended up falling back to sleep after hearing them laughing, but then something else woke her up after that. This time when she woke up, she knew somebody was in that room. She couldn't see them, but that she could hear them in there. She decided to get up, and as she was walking out of the room, something made her turn around. When she turned around, right next to the bed that she was just sleeping on, she explains that she sees this thing with horns, and it looked like it was wrapped around, but now that she remembers clearly, it's almost like he was wrapping himself with wings. She said that it felt like forever, but she eventually like screamed and ran out of that room and basically ran into her grandmother because that was the first person she saw. And she tells her grandmother what she saw in that bedroom. No one else believed her except for her grandmother. That her grandmother started explaining to everybody like something felt weird when we came home, and I started smelling like a really weird smell. So I believe her. I feel like something was in that room. And she says that thankfully that was the last time she saw that thing. So years have passed, and now it's 2 years ago when she decided to move in with her dad, and her mom, stepdad, and little brother stayed back in that town and now live there. Out of the blue, she receives a phone call from her mom saying that the lady who sells tamales had passed away. The same tamale lady that the grandfather would go to because he loved her tamales and they had grown fond of her, so it was sad to find out that she had passed away. She also noted that during that phone call with her mom, she could tell that her mom wanted to tell her something else but like couldn't tell her for whatever reason. Eventually she tells her that a friend from that town had came to her and told her that he had seen what looked like a man all black with wings around that town, but this time it was several people who had seen this thing. This man who told her mom the story said that after several days of him seeing that, his wife passed away. That's not the last thing. She had friends from church, and one of the nuns had told them that her nephew and the dad claimed to have seen this demonic being flying over their cars on their way into town. The nun claims that she thinks that they saw the devil himself, and a few days later her nephew attempted to take his own life. The nephew was telling them that he started hearing voices inside of his head, and that had never happened until he saw that demonic thing. Days after that, these men who lived in a house claimed that they heard the strangest sound in the middle of the night that scared them so bad that they attempted to leave the house to run to a neighbor's when they looked up at the sky and saw this really black thing with wings that looked like a man. And that was the moment when the town came out with guns. They started shooting up at the sky. She said everybody in that town was really scared, and it was in that moment where she started remembering what she saw when she was a kid and what was in that room, like, and no one believed her, and now everybody is seeing it. She said that in the moment she was like, I told you and you never believed me. Like, I told you what I saw, I told you what was in that bedroom, everybody laughed and you guys did not believe me. And you want to know the most fucked up part? Her mom's new husband, her stepdad, back in the day when she had told him what she saw, her husband told the mom, I've seen it too, she's not lying. I would be enraged. I would be so mad. The fact that they didn't believe her, and then her own husband was like, I think she could be right, I've seen it too. The story that her stepdad told the mom was that when he was younger, him and his dad were on the road to a town nearby, and as they were driving on the side of the road, they saw what they thought was an animal. When they got close by, it looked like a man with wings eating an animal. She said that nobody knows what it is and that she can't even make sense of what this thing could be, but that the town has started their own theories on what it could be. Some people think that it's the devil, other people think that it's a witch, and there are a lot of people who think that this being shows up when someone is going to die. She says that everybody can have their theories, but she just hopes that she never encounters this thing again. I do want to point out that I want to say a year ago I read a story where this girl saw this thing and described it the exact same way. A quick summary of that story that I read, it was because a girl had become orphaned and she was mad at God. In that story, she tells God, if you are real, show me proof. One day, she looks up as the church bells ring and she sees a all-black being with wings fly in the sky. I don't know if these things are related, but I have chills. Sorry. It's just scary. It's scary. Who knows? What do you guys think? I'm gonna put the video up here. It's from Relatos de la Noche and it's in Spanish if you want to go hear it. I'll also add the timestamp so that you can listen to that specific story.